Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys had a great new year. Welcome to 2022. I just want to say first before we start the video, huge thanks to Vangoa Pedalboards who sent me out this pedal board up here that you can see behind me. It's a great pedal board. There's lots of reasons why I use it. I've already been through it and unboxed it, gone through the specs, gone through why I like it in a previous video. If you want to watch that video, then that is down there in the description below, and also down there is an affiliate link which you can click on if you want to go and order a Vangoa pedal board. So this video today is going to cover what order your pedals should go in my opinion, on your pedal board. You guys have been asking me this for such a long time now that this video is long overdue. The reason it's taken me so long to do it is because my pedal board has always been an utter shambles and a disgrace. So the first thing I want to say to you guys is that when I play live, or when I have played live for the last 10-15 years, I've been really minimalistic with what I actually use pedal wise. I'm not a massive pedal board effects buff. I hardly use them. You know, I have my basics on the board and it's usually just what I need, no more, no less. I'm not one of these guys that just buys tons of effects and crams on a massive board just for no reason. You know, I only have on the board what I'm going to use and what I need live, because the more things you have on the board, the more things to sort out if something goes wrong in a limited time while you're sound checking. I probably use effects more actually at home here for you guys and when I'm jamming at home than I actually do when I'm out doing live gigs. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. I'm going to move the camera and I'm going to move the board now, and we're going to move into a brighter place too so we can film, and I'm going to take you through the board and I'm going to tell you exactly what pedals I've got, what order they are in, why they are in that order, and why I like them in that order. So let's go. Okay guys, so let's get on with it. First of all, I just want to talk about where my guitar is going. My guitar is going in here, into the right side of the pedal board. I like it going in there because usually if I'm using a lead, it will be on the right side of my guitar. I'm a right-handed guitar player. It will come out there. I won't have a lead in my way too much, and I'll go straight into the first pedal here. So the first pedal that we have here is a Digitech drop pedal. I absolutely love this pedal and I've been using it for a hell of a long time now. I don't know when it first came out, but I basically saw Ryan Bruce's video of this pedal and I ordered it straight away and I've not looked back since. It's a fantastic pedal. For those of you that don't know, it changes the tuning of your guitar. So if you play multiple tunings like I do, or as I used to do live, then this pedal is absolutely great. You don't have to take tons of guitars all in different tunings or keep changing your tuning in between songs. You can basically set whichever tuning you want here with this dial, move it up and down. The lights show how many steps down you've moved, and then you hit the button there and the pedal is on. So it's a great pedal. I absolutely love it, and that is first in the chain. If you think about this logically, your guitar, say if it's tuned to, say, I don't know, standard tuning, and you're going in here, the first thing you want to do is change the tuning of that guitar. You don't want distortion or any other effects in the way. The tuning of your guitar will be the first thing that hits your amp, and because it's the first thing, the nearest you can get it to the guitar is obviously next, straight after the guitar, if that makes sense. So that's where you want that pedal there, always, in my opinion. It does work in other positions, but there's a reason I like it there, and I'm going to tell you now. So the next pedal along here is the Korg Pitch Black. This is a really old pedal. I've had this, geez, I don't know when these first came out, but I got this as well. These have only been out like a few months when I got this pedal. My motto is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And this pedal is my favourite tuner. It kind of was innovative at the time, you know, like it was a digital tuner. It's really easy to understand. It's very clear. The display is clear, and it doesn't move around too much like some tuners that I've used before. They seem to fly around, you know, and it's really hard, especially if you're using a Floyd Rose refined tuners. It's really hard to get your guitar to stay in tune and for it not to be shooting around all over the place. This is really clear, really basic to use, and my favourite tuner, and it's not broke, so I've not looked at getting a new one so far. Now the reason that goes behind the drop pedal is obviously if you click this button here and you change the tuning of your guitar, you then need to know that this pedal is working. In a live situation that can be quite tricky, so if you put your tuner after this pedal, you can click the tuner, and as you turn on the drop pedal, you'll be able to check your tuning before you start the next song. My pitch black here is set so it mutes, so basically when I hit that pedal I tune and you can't hear the notes obviously coming out of my amp, because in between songs or tracks or whatever live, the last thing you want to do is be hitting strings up and horrible sounding strings and tuning them with everybody hearing you in the audience. You know, it just sounds unprofessional, terrible. And if you're using this pedal, you have to be careful. I've never had this pedal fail on, but what I will say is that you need to make sure that this thing is working, or things can go horribly wrong when you are playing live. If your whole band's got one of these and theirs are all working and they've gone into drop B and you're in standard tuning still, then it's going to be a disaster, as you can imagine. So between songs, hit the drop pedal, hit the chord pitch black, probably hit your low E, and make sure that it's gone down to B, D, C, whatever you want it to be, whatever you've got this pedal set to be. And that's how it works, and that's the reason that I always put the tuner after the drop pedal. Really, if you think about it, it's just common sense. So the next pedal along here is a really cheap pedal actually. This pedal is about £30, something like that. I hardly use phase at all, so there was no point, you know, shelling out on an expensive phase. I actually did have phase 90 at one point, but I got rid of it, and then I missed phase a bit, so I went back and I just got this one for about £30 by Joyo. It's a great phase pedal. I only have it on around here. I don't know why it's set right up there, but I have it around here pretty low, you know, for machine head style phasey intros, things like that, but don't use it that much. That goes next for me. I don't like phasing the loop. I like it before the amp. It's personal choice, you know, none of these rules, none of these are set in stone. The way I have them set is the way I do it and the way I like it. I think it's right, but that doesn't mean that it is right, because something else might suit you. You might prefer something else, but I like phasing in front of my amp. I use phase usually when there's gain on anyway, so it makes sense to have it in front of the amp, in my opinion. The next pedal along here is a Morley Tremonti wah. I've had this pedal now, geez, must be 15 years, something like that I think. It's an absolutely fantastic pedal. My favourite wah that I've ever owned. I only have this wah now, and I don't have any reason to have any other wah until this breaks, I guess, or fails on me. I don't need any other wah, it does its job for me. It's a really wide sweep on that wah. I absolutely love it. It sounds very modern, very nice, and I've got so used to using Morley wahs, you know, like when you step off the pedal you can just walk off and the wah is off. After about a second delay the wah goes off. You can actually change that, but I really like that, so that's next here. Now you're probably wondering why I've got this pedal right over there on the left out of the way, and the reason for that is I'm right-handed, my guitar's going to sit on my right leg, and I actually work my wah with my left leg, so I like it on the left side of the board. If you're on a big stage, it doesn't matter which side it's on. If you play some small stages, you're going to want that wah to just be right in front of you, and if you use your left foot, it makes sense just to step on it with the left foot. Now the only problem with that is I have another lead that goes in here obviously, and that is a longer lead that will come out of there. It will go under the board, all the way underneath the board, come out here and go straight into this here. This is a distortion pedal actually by Wampler. It's a new one for 2021. It's called the Rat's Bane. It's absolutely fantastic. It's basically a modded Rat overdrive. As you can see from the settings there, I use this as a clean boost, and it's absolutely fantastic. I really like this pedal a lot, especially in front of the EVHs. It works great. So the way I look at the pedal board when you're talking in terms of in front of the amp, I like my boosts, distortions, overdrives as close to the amp as possible. Like if you imagine playing the guitar and plugging straight into the front of the amp, it goes guitar, amp, you know, it goes guitar, distortion, tone, and for me that's why boosts always go as close to the amp as they possibly can. You come out of your guitar, if you didn't have all this shenanigans here, you would just go straight into the boost, then the amp. But either way, I always like distortions, boosts as close to the amp as possible. Just makes sense for me, and in my opinion that's where they should go. Now I have two boosts here. I like both. This one has quite a lot of mids. As you can see, I've got the mids quite high there. It's on a flat setting, but I really like this pedal. It's just a slightly different tone that it adds. I wouldn't have these two pedals on together. This one is the clear tone Oh My Goat, absolutely fantastic pedal. There's nothing much between these pedals other than this just brings a bit more mid-range. This one is just a really nice tone with tons of harmonics, you know. Now you're probably wondering where the gate is here. Now this is why there's a space right there. I do, when I play live, have an ISP decimator after my overdrive. It's not on too high, just enough to tame some feedback. Now the ISP decimator is designed to let noise through that you want it to make, like if I'm controlling some feedback, which I do a lot live, it's kind of my thing, what I do. When I want feedback, the decimator lets me have it, lets me play around with the whammy bar and lets me use the feedback. It's a very intelligent gate and I love it. Again, an old pedal ISP decimator, but works for me and I really do like it. The reason it's not on this board right now is because I'm not playing live, but that would usually be there, and then I go straight into the amp. Now, this board is set out for me as if it were in front of the amp. And if you're wondering where all the delays and choruses and reverbs and all those kinds of pedals are, they would be in the effects loop for me. Now some guys would squeeze them on here as well, but for me personally, I like them to be over at the back of the stage where my amp is. I have a smaller pedal board set up on top of the amp, and I do that because it limits the amount of wires that would be running from the front of the stage to the back of the stage. I don't want to be stumbling and tripping over wires, taping them down, making all my cables all gooed up. So I have a smaller pedal board which would have just delay and reverb on, and maybe also a noise gate before the delay and reverb, and that would sit on top of my amp. And what I would do is I'd have my EVH foot switch probably set over there on the left, and I'd just turn the effects loop on and off. I'd leave the delay and the reverb on, I'd hit the effects loop and they just come in, and I just use that when I'm doing like a lead or a solo, anything like that, just to give me a bit of ambience. Not too much reverb though live, because obviously if you're in a venue it already has its own reverb, so you don't want to go too mad on that or you'll sound like you're playing in a washing machine or something like that. But yeah, that's my pedal board setup. I hope this helps. I know some of you guys would have your full pedals all on one board, but for me, I just don't like it that way. Like I say, my effects that are in the loop of the amp are always behind me on top of the amp. I just leave them all on and I just turn them on in one switch on my pedal, on my foot switch for my amp. So that's how I do it. Everybody does it a different way. If you did put reverb and delay on this board, and you were coming from the effects loop, which in my opinion that's where delay and reverb belong. If you've got an effects loop, reverb and delay should be in the effects loop. So if you guys were going to put on this board delay, reverb and a gate, and they were going to be in your loop, then basically you would want them in this order: noise gate, then delay, and then reverb. That's how I have them. It's not a golden rule. Sometimes some people have them the other way around, but that's how I like them. Noise gate first, cut off any noise, unwanted noise, delay, and then some reverb afterwards. So that's the order that I would have it set in my effects loop if they're on this board. So thanks very much for watching. I hope this video helped you out. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. We've got some real cool gear coming to the channel in 2022. Huge thanks again to Vangoa for supplying the pedal board, for enabling me to be able to do this demo. And thanks to Wampler Pedals, thanks to Cleartone Pedals, and thanks to Digitech also for sending me the other stuff that's gone on this board. And I'll see you all soon.